Alright, I'm back. And let's just continue on with the book. So, there are actually takeaways from the last reading. So, the key takeaways from the 4 A's of stress management. Alright, when it comes to anxiety, rumination, and overthinking, mindfulness practices can help if they are tethered to concrete action in the moment, as outlined in the ACT model. In action commitment therapy, we accept what we cannot control and commit to taking action to change the things we can, according to our personal values and in order to improve our lives. In ACT, anxiety is often about experiential avoidance, which we can counteract using the 6 core principles. The first is to genuinely contact the present without judgment, interpretation, resistance, or narrative, but with conscious alertness and open curiosity about what is unfolding in the now. The second is cognitive diffusion, where we separate out our thoughts about reality from reality itself. Because remember, reality and what we think reality is are totally different. We accept our thoughts as thoughts, so we don't get tangled up in them. The third is acceptance, where we welcome and acknowledge reality without arguing with it. We don't have to agree or condone, only observe. We use the fourth concept, the observing self, to have a conscious meta perspective on our thoughts. One part is having an experience, one part is observing us having that experience. The fifth is to find our values and principles so that we can put our thoughts into context. The observing self can appraise our thoughts and compare them against our values so we can do the sixth principle. Take conscious, inspired action. The acronym ACT can help us. Accept your internal experience in the present moment. Choose a valued direction and take action in that direction. This reduces anxiety and overthinking. Overcoming anxious rumination is about learning to identify it. Compared to normal cognition, rumination is endless, doesn't bring insight, and doesn't actually improve anything. Even though it temporarily feels like problem solving. Challenging our thoughts isn't necessary and only plays into further experiential avoidance and resistance. Instead, ask if a thought is useful and whether it's helping you achieve goals in accordance with your values. Compassion, forgiveness, and the 3M strategy, meet, make, move, are also great strategies for empowering yourself out of rumination. There is a mantra called the 4 A's of stress management. These are avoid, alter, accept, and adapt. Avoiding things entails simply walking away from things you can control. Some things are simply not worth the effort and are best removed from our environments altogether. However, if we can't avoid it, we must learn how to alter our environment to remove the stressor. If we can't alter our environment, we have no choice but to accept it. Lastly, if we can't do much about the situation at all, we must adapt to it and learn how to cope with our stressor and reduce its damaging potential to a minimum. So it's just really about doing a lot of things to minimize bad things in your life. I know it kind of sucks knowing that bad things don't really go away. However, you can look at it to the perspective of a warrior, where bad things don't go away, but you just get stronger. You know, you just keep on improving, getting better, to the point that it doesn't bother you anymore. Things just won't budge you, and you're just that tough. You're just that resilient. No matter what happens, you move forward, and I think that is one hell of a goal. Alright, so we're gonna be moving on to chapter 3, the art of cognitive restructuring. How to reframe automatic negative thoughts. In the last chapter, we tried to shift our focus into all the ways that we can inhabit our observing self or higher conscious awareness, and how this allows us to observe our experience. Notice when we're ruminating and choose to step in and act according to our values. We said that challenging your thoughts doesn't usually work because it can be a form of experiential avoidance. In other words, when we push back against what we experience in the moment, we open the door to judgment, self-criticism, and resistance. If our goal is to be more aware, however, we need to drop any attitude of judgment or feeling like certain thoughts are wrong and need to be challenged. Instead, we look at how to reframe thoughts according to their usefulness in our particular lives, rather than taking the perspective that certain thoughts and ideas are wrong and bad and need to be corrected. This may seem like a very small distinction to make, but it's important. Approaching any change with an attitude of judgment and negativity is unlikely to work, whereas a proactive, compassionate, and accepting frame of mind will allow us to gently improve without feeling bad about where we currently are. The action with the action we take may be the same in each case, but our intention and attitude behind those actions can make all the difference. Bringing awareness to automatic thoughts. So we know that reframing and restructuring thoughts is not about fixing the wrong thoughts or arguing with your real experience, but about a conscious shift in perspective. When we bring consciousness to what is unconscious, we create choice. So, we are not judging ourselves, identifying problems and fixing them, but rather shining awareness into the dark corners where there isn't any. Automatic negative thoughts are on an especially dark corner. Images, beliefs, ideas, and feelings can spring into action in response to a trigger while we're completely on autopilot. Beliefs really are just thoughts we've had for a very long time. Our way of interpreting events may become invisible to us over time, and are so reflexive and automatic that we don't question them. While they seem tiny and superficial in the moment, automatic negative thoughts create the fabric of our lived experience and are the heart of many mental illnesses. So, we're gonna be stopping here for now. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you guys are gonna be back for future episodes. For now, I hope you are doing well, and please, please just don't give up. Continue on fighting, continue improving ourselves. Now, life matters. I know that there are people out there who have really hard lives, And I can't really imagine how hard their lives may be because the world is big and there are a lot of individuals with a lot of unique circumstances. However, if you're out there and you're listening, there's always hope, and life just finds a way. So yeah, thank you for listening, and that's it. Bye.
Please, I'm begging you.